watching a master at work.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-binaries, and transgenders, this is season 3 of the Ultra Heelz podcast, live from Bravery Studios, Clifton, New Jersey. I am Darth Messiah, the Dark Side Savior, always and forever, always with behavior. Mr. DM, find me your mama's DMs. Why? Because I've been trying to be a mama baby and nobody can stop me. And the OG, the triple OG that talks all the motherfucking shit.
Yeah, y'all already know it's your boy Alex, the motherfucking Hill, a.k.a. the Stan Lee of podcasting, a.k.a. formerly known as the man that hated Vince McMahon, but now that he's sick, I'll probably get my wish. Also known as the man that hit your girl to cripple cross face and leave her in a cross face.
Facts. And the man that pushes all the buttons, Mr. Noe Marv.
What up, Ultra Heelz?
I like that.
Well, speaking of RIPs, let's just go straight to Brodie Lee.
Brodie Lee, bro. Right.
John Huber, Luke Harper. Nobody saw this coming. I believe when we last spoke of Brodie Lee, I'm like, why? Like, yes, he's injured. Well, obviously, he was more than injured. He was like deathly sick. I was saying, why are they not, making up some sort of like kayfabe story as to why he's not on TV? Now we know.
What did he die from?
They say it was a non-COVID related lung condition.
Lung condition. Okay.
Yeah, it hit the wrestling world so hard that it was so unexpected. Nobody would even think that. Like, I got wind of it just by I follow him and I follow his wife, and I just happened to go on Instagram and saw the post, and I was like, wait, what? What the fuck just happened? Like, I thought he was going to be coming back soon. What? I was like, that's crazy. And for him to be 41, that made it hurt even hard, because I was like, damn, I thought Brodie was way older than me. I didn't know he was that little bit older than me. I was like, god damn.
Because I was on lunch at work, and I'm checking Instagram, and I see the post like, oh, rest in peace, Brodie. I'm like, what? Like, bullshit. I didn't even like think about it. And then like, I think like maybe an hour later you sent it to me, and then like 3 other people sent it to me. I was like, oh, this is real.
Yeah, like, dude, it broke news so quick, bruh. Even people are talking about other things. Like, I follow people who do comic books. I follow people that do custom sneakers, guys that like underground rap. They all was posting it on Instagram. I was like, this gotta be something big, and motherfuckers don't even talk about wrestling on their own social media platforms. Are talking about a wrestler that passed. I was like, this is fucking crazy. But what made it more crazy is WWE gave him that bullshit ass small tribute in the beginning that was like nonchalant, but then AEW did that whole tribute show. Even WWF wrestlers, I'm not gonna call them E because they ain't worth the shit of an E. They was retweeting the AEW tribute on their social media, and the first person that did it was Xavier Woods, and I was like, damn, he about to get in trouble, but I guess he don't get too fucked, because he was cool with him, seeing how he started up, down, down, and he was one of the people that was up the whole time.
Now,
so I was like, damn.
What I love the most about just the whole experience of what the aftermath, everybody in the wrestling industry had something positive to say about him. Like, beyond his circle of friends, beyond the people that he worked directly with in the ring, the entire wrestling industry, every company, somebody had something positive to say about how he personally helped them in their career or in real life. You don't see that very often. Usually there's somebody somewhere that's going to throw dirt on your name when you die. That didn't happen here.
Word, there's a few wrestlers out there that don't give two shits about other wrestlers, and will talk shit about them.
Sabu.
But
have you seen Sabu's book?
This is this is the one weird time ever that WWE was talking positive about him. AEW, fucking ZZW old wrestlers wrestlers that wrestle in the independent circuit still today, motherfuckers from New Japan. I'm like, bruh, I've never seen this many people give a man this much praise in his wrestling career. Like even people that paved the way for certain wrestlers and was good people to some of them and never shit on people don't even get this much praise from this many companies around the world. Like Brodie Lee at this point right now, he had to die to be bigger than Hulk Hogan in them right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that says a lot about that man. And the thing that hurts me the most is he got to AEW and showed that he could be a top-tier wrestler and still never got to fulfill what he was capable of because we didn't have enough time with him to actually fully do it. And I feel like WWE now, to me, he can kiss the whole part of my blackness in my ass at this point now.
I see. I'm not entirely mad about what WWE did because I understand that. Hey, he wasn't working for them anymore, so we're gonna give him the little thing at the beginning of the show, and we're just gonna go on. For me, that was enough respect from them, and the fact that they allowed AEW to use footage of him in WWE during their tribute, they let them say Luke Harper, they let them say Bludgeon Brothers, and they weren't petty about it. They didn't ask AEW for a bunch of money to do all of it. I'm fine with WWE doing that. For me, that's a pass.
Like I would give it a pass for them, but at the same time, the man was in your company for a good amount of time. People know him for hell. He's the only wrestler I know right now that has left and came back and will get a pop every time he came back in WWE. Like no matter what, if he was gone for 6 months, came back, crowd went crazy. The Wine Music hit, he showed up in a black thing, crowd went crazy. Like this man worked his ass off to get to the so-called biggest company in the world, to get pit up to a mid pedestal, to get pit down to the bar, and he still worked his ass off like crazy. And then I give him the smallest little 21 gun salute for that. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy. He was with y'all for so long. Like, y'all could at least did more. And then what makes it hit more home is when you hear WWE wrestlers saying that WWE could have did more than what they did that first night. And they praised AEW, like I said, because AEW did what they thought WWE was going to do. Even though you had to look for another company, that's good. You don't have to show the other company. But you still could have showed all the stuff that he ever did when he was in developmental. He was in WWE from the beginning to the end. You didn't do none of that. You waited after AEW did theirs. And then you did your tribute like right after theirs. And I'm like, that's cool, but at the same time, most of your wrestlers feel like, damn, son, like he was one of your best workers you had, and y'all didn't give him shit. Y'all waited till another company outdid y'all to want to go back and redo y'all's over.
Yeah, that's the thing about Brodie Lee. Even like his hardcore fans, most of them won't go out on a limb and say, oh, he was the greatest wrestler ever. No, he was one of the hardest working wrestlers there was. He put his all into what he did. Regardless of where he was on the card, regardless of who he was working with, you were going to get something from Brodie Lee that night.
Yes, and I'm deeply, deeply happy that AEW didn't do a tribute video. They did a tribute show, and they didn't overdo it for it to be a tribute show. They hit enough of it in certain matches and certain people coming out, like how what's his name? That was beefing with Moxley in New Japan for that United States title.
Juice Robinson? No, Lance Archer. Yeah,
Lance Archer. Lance Archer came out dressed in his ring gear. And I was like, bruh, that hits home because y'all two face each other in CZW so much to the point that you came out and did that. It like little things like that was what made it great. They're standing at the top of their little Titantron and they giving their thing, and his son's out there giving his son a contract. For what reason? You didn't even have to do that. Like, they did so much shit to just make sure the family is good.
Yep.
They make sure that the family's going to be settled. Like, you didn't have to do all that and tell nobody. You could do that in the backworks, and nobody would have never had to know. But like Chris Jericho, CM Punk, a lot of the wrestlers, T-shirt donations,
Oh, yes,
money straight to the family. AEW money straight to the family. His 8-year-old son contract, so when he grow up, if he want to be a wrestler, he can wrestle in AEW. Like, you got wrestlers in WWE still training him. Like, Liv Morgan trains with his son, even though he works for AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a lot of shit right here that you would probably never see when it comes to anybody else. Like, you don't see this from no other wrestler that passed away. WWE had a good thing for their kids just wrestle, and then they go, okay, cool. If he's good down the road, maybe we'll pick him up. If not, fuck it. AEW was like, yeah, screw that. You ate. Your dad was like our guy. So if you want to be a wrestler in the future, you can wrestle with us. We have a contract. Money in you and your mom's pocket going forward.
Yep.
And then you use him on TV, not like how you use old boy at WrestleMania with Braun Strowman, because that kid is. I still want to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, it's like this is the one time I can say AEW did something that WWE would probably never do, and they did it right.
Yep. And they retired the existing version of the TNT Championship and gave it to his son. And they're giving Darby Allin basically a slightly modified one with a black belt instead of the red belt. You
know, so I think it's black leather on the front, but on the inside it's got red. It's like red, like alligator skin. And I was like, that's different.
It's like the last version of the heavyweight championship in WWE.
Yeah, and I was like, that's weird. I was like, but I just like how they introduced it out of the way. It was like, Darby Allin has the new version of the belt. I said, wait, what? I didn't even realize that shit. The way the lights were, I thought it was the same belt. I just thought they retired that one and just updated a different look. I didn't know it was a different whole color belt. I was like, damn, that was nonchalant, smooth as hell, because I didn't even realize the bullshit.
Well, Marv, have you heard about my hole?
Well, take it easy there, bro. I have not heard of this.
You haven't heard about my hole?
No.
Oh, yeah. It's just the biggest thing going around right now.
Alex, tell him about my hole.
Yeah. So apparently, our favorite woman of all time, Nia Jax, has got hurt. And instead of her yelling, "Oh, I'm hurt," or "Oh, I'm sore," they kind of blurted out, but she yelled, "My hole!" And it just became a meme as soon as it hit, because I swear it was on Twitter like 10 seconds later after it went live. Like, it had to be.
Wow.
And now we got and now we got the holy trio. We got Bubba Ray and Impact yelling my balls. We got Thunder Rosa yelling my vag, and now we have Nia Jax yelling my hole. So now we have the whole Trinity.
All right, so here's what happened. She was on the apron. She was going to do a leg drop on the apron. And the spot was Lana's going to roll out the way and Nia Jax is going to take the bump to the floor. Apparently, she landed too hard and she hurt her asshole.
Okay, yeah.
Or her tailbone or asshole, whatever.
George was asking which hole.
We're assuming it's the brown hole. We're going to assume it's the brown hole.
They know one, I kiss boo-boos.
Yeah, I do too.
So the butthole, when it gets hurt, it gets like torn. Is really what happens. Right?
Yeah. Now, funny thing, I had forgot about this too, but of course the internet didn't forget. Back in the day when X-Pac busted his asshole.
Just about to say that.
When he landed on the turnbuckle and the pad was in the wrong place and he ripped his asshole and he was bleeding in the middle of a match from his ass.
Yep. He said he went to the locker room and took off his pants and there's just a puddle of blood in there. Fucking crazy. So she must have been bleeding too then, I mean.
Well, I think it was just like pain. I don't think she was like bleeding or like an injury or anything.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I mean, that sucks when you got to go take a dump and then you got a sore spot down there. Oh man.
That's like when you eat spicy food and you got to take a dump afterwards.
Yeah.
It burns.
Yeah, bro. I learned my lesson. I stay away from the sriracha sauce. Because it's good.
I'm trying one way. I never learned my lesson because that shit don't happen. That shit be like, oh, your ass gonna hurt. I don't even want it. Let me go ahead and get something else.
Or if you eat ice cream, I heard it helps.
Oh, that makes sense. Because
how like you're supposed to drink milk with hot foods. So if you eat ice cream to like digest it with the spiciness, it'll take away the burn when you go to take a dump.
Calvin said that was Shelly Martinez, not Thunder Rosa.
Oh, was it? I can't remember. All the pictures of face paint look alike.
Yeah.
Very true.
So, but besides the fact that Nia Jax fucked up her asshole, that match was hot garbage. I understand they were trying to give Lana the win over Nia because she was being bullied for 2-3 months, getting put through the announce table so many times. But for it to be, I understand why it was a table match because obviously she kept getting put through the table. But for the finish, just Now, after Nia Jax busted her asshole, she just kind of fell into the table.
Hey man, you know how this goes. You go through a table, you lose. You know, it's been WWE's ultimate rule. I don't give a fuck. Like, even if somebody pick you to a table and you just manage to hit a certain move while they get to the table, technically, you didn't go to the table. Mm-hmm. They went to a table. Yeah. So that's just WWE rule. As long as you go through a table, you lose. And it don't matter if you did it yourself, it was by accident. And don't forget, Sheamus won the belt from John Cena because John Cena slipped off and actually fell to the table.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Won the belt.
I always forget about that one.
Yeah, because that was one of them things that was it's like, oh yeah, you know, what's it? It's a table match. Oh, the spot's gonna be you go do a suplex and Sheamus goes to the table. You go up there, Sheamus hits you, you slip and you actually fall off. They go to the table. Oh, well, I guess we got to change the finish now because, you know, that's the way we work here.
Yeah. The Closeted Nerd said, I made it. This is hilarious.
CrossFit Manny made it. This is hilarious. Oh, yeah. Shout out to CrossFit
Manny. Manny's one of the guys I met off a studio early this afternoon. I told him about this, and he said he was a wrestling fan, so he said he's going to check it out.
Oh, welcome to the Ultra Heelz.
Welcome. Interesting, yeah, man.
Yeah, we start off about talking about assholes. So, literal assholes, not the people.
It's not a bad way to start the show.
I say, look, we don't talk about Nia Jax asshole, so you know, they ain't no different than what we talk about her regularly.
This is true.
I mean, she must have an interesting asshole. Like her asshole it's Samoan, right?
Yeah.
It's not like
it's Samoan in a motherfucker.
Yeah, it's different from ours.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's also partially German because what is her? I believe her dad is mixed. Her mom is the Samoan part of the bloodline.
Yeah, man.
I'm just trying to be part of the family. That's all I still want to be. Anything to the Rock is gonna make me happy.
I did it for the Rock.
I'm gonna do it for the Rock. I'm gonna just have to take the bullet for Nia Jax, but she's gonna love me anyway.
She love me in the morning.
She's gonna give you ugly kids though.
Nah.
First of all, once she give ugly kids, but long as Samoan, they gonna be one or two things. They're gonna be a wrestler or they're gonna be a sports athlete. I mean, look at it. I'm gonna be set for life.
Facts.
Yeah, you're right. You will be set. Yeah, that's correct.
Let's see. Look at Rikishi. Rikishi got what? How many boys? Like what? 4, 5, and 3 to wrestle. At this point right now, shit, what do he need to do at this point?
And he's still wrestling himself. Because it's in his blood. That's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get to become part of Wrestling Dynasty, and I get to have some little wrestlers. Shit, I don't see nothing wrong with this.
This is true. You speak the true, my boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's way back.
Our original first undisputed champion of MMA and WWE before Brock, before everybody else. He was the first and the only man to do both. And like I said, Vince just let these people go. And it's so weird because they were so dominant back then. They had action figures. They were just signed to temporary contracts to have full action figures and merch through WWE. And he just let them go. He had no faith. But these people are still fucking wrestling to this day.
Oh, Kelvin said he wants to see Minoru Suzuki versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Oh my God, that match would never end. That would be like a forever match. Like they would start wrestling on Monday, and that shit would end like Monday when Tommaso Ciampa is going fully bald.
All right. Last week we talked about the recent round of releases. We talked about obviously Velveteen Dream. We didn't really talk much about Drake Wirtz. He was probably one of the most controversial things that was happening. He's a strong right-wing Republican. He's a anti-masker. He's a on the grounds that it promotes child endangerment, the kidnapping and whatnot. He was going to town council meetings in his NXT referee shirt. He was having video chats for like political events on NXT property with his NXT shirt on.
Damn.
Yeah, so
then that sounded like he was going to get let go.
Yeah, that sounds like you're asking to get let go because you're making all these political statements on with your your company shirt on company property. It's just not a really good look to me.
I really feel like I think to be honest, I really feel like he stopped giving a fuck and was like, fuck it. They let me go. But at this point now, I'm just going to do what I can until I'm no longer in the company.
Mm-hmm. This week, Todd Phillips, a.k.a. Michael Cole, number 374, he was let go. Come to find out, he was recently heavily involved in, I believe it was Peacock production with WWE. He was some sort of behind-the-scenes job with between the two companies. So that's why he wasn't working as an announcer in the last few months. But he was let go. Adnan Virk. Go ahead.
I would say that's strange because I like Tom Phillips. Tom Phillips was the better Michael Cole. He was bearable.
The best Michael Cole android.
Mm-hmm. Because we had many versions of Michael Cole.
Matt Striker.
None of them was. Let's not talk about him.
Josh Roberts.
No, fuck that. Let's talk about Matt Striker. No, let's talk about Josh Roberts and Matt Striker. They were good outside of WWE's commentary. And WWE commentary is probably the worst thing ever. You got to think about it. You got Vince in your ear and the production truck people in your ear telling you what you can and cannot say.
Uh-huh.
And then you have to try to basically like curve your words basically to fit the WWE meta. But then outside of WWE, they don't give a rat's ass what the fuck you say. You got more freedom. Now you have a personality and you're not Michael Cole.
To my understanding, it was more about Kevin Dunn going to Michael Cole and having him train all the other commentators to speak like he does, and less about just obviously Vince is there in your ear during the show, but it was more about Kevin Dunn and the TV production side of how we want to present the show, to my understanding.
And like I get it too, but I just recently watched a thing about JR talking about when Owen Hart died, and he literally said so you have people in your ear telling you what to say, what not to say. You can't say belt, you can't say crowd, you got to say universe, all sorts of stupid shit. So I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. You got people there. But then Jay also said when Owen Hart died and they got in here, it was like, okay, you got to update the people on what's happening. He was like, but nobody told me what happened to him after this point, like what's going on. Mm-hmm. He said, they told me I had 4 seconds and they tell them that he is dead. He said, so now you go back and think about it or watch it. He said, you can see me trying to gasp the words I need to say without saying anything they don't want me to say about him. He said, and to this day, I still feel shitty because I that's not what I wanted to say about the man. He was like, but this is what they kind of coached me into saying about him dying, and they told me 4 seconds before we went back onto the air. He was like, I still feel wrong that WWE is like in your ear. And then he also said that's the reason why Mick Foley stepped down his commentary when he was doing it. He said he got tired of them telling him what he could and could not say. He was like, you have to be the commentary. Don't be in my ear telling me you can't say this, can't say that. I've been working for you for how long? I know this already. I know how to talk on here. I read your scripts. I made them sound much better. I made your storylines make somewhat sense. And now you're going to be my ear forcing me to talk. It's kind of a sucky ass job. Like, I understand why most wrestlers, except for like Beth Phoenix right now, Samoa Joe was able to do it. But other people, I'm like, I get why they didn't want to do that shit long, especially like Booker T. Booker T was funny as hell on the mic with shit he was saying sometimes. I was like, I know Vince is in there kind of pissed off at what he was saying.
Mm-hmm. A quick on Samoa Joe. I feel like the longer Samoa Joe went, the less personality he had. They were just turning him into another corporate puppet.
They was, but he was a corporate puppet that wrestled, so most of the people matches he was calling, it was just like how Booker T and Mega them did. It was people they knew. So they would probably have more information than anybody else. Like Michael Cole still got to remember things people did and also remember stuff people done. And then you get somebody like Booker T that has wrestled Triple H match, wrestled Big Show because he had a match with him. Like they know these people personally outside WWE. I really feel like nobody hangs with Michael Cole outside WWE. I wouldn't hang with Michael Cole outside, inside, at home with him. I would probably fight him most of the time.
What's up, Valdor? Valdor's in the chat. Also released this week, well, they called it a mutual agreement with Adnan Virk stepping down from commentary on Raw. Former ESPN personality. He's been there for what, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it was, and I had a feeling it wasn't going to work out. I wanted it to work because he had a legitimate, sports commentary background, but this isn't sports. This is sports entertainment. So he's being replaced by what's his name from UFC? I already forgot his name.
Jimmy Smith.
Yes. Jimmy Smith.
Now with that whole situation, I don't get it. Like, only Ronaldo was probably the best to go from UFC to boxing to WWE because of his charisma on that mic. It made it feel like he could have been more of a manager for somebody like Paul Heyman than sit behind that mic. But they just be getting random motherfuckers that did other sports and thinking they can do good commentary. They just want more robots at this point now.
By them doing this move immediately, it tells me that they want sports legitimacy, but at the same time, no, do our style, but be that at the same time, which can't work.
Like I said, Ronaldo was probably the best thing they had because he was their style, but he was more of a fan of it while doing his job. While you got Michael Cole and them just repeating the same line for fucking 15 years over and over.
Vintage Randy Orton.
Cole, Dad, and it's the boss. Shut the fuck up with that line. Like, we already know who she is. Like, nobody cares. Just stop that, please. Please, like that, or that's Vintage Orton. Shut the fuck up with all that shit. You've been saying the same lines. I ain't gonna lie. You've been saying the same lines since what, SmackDown, what, 2K, what? No, I can't say 2K. SmackDown, what? Wait, what's the game Michael Cole
Here Comes the Pain?
In the game? Was it 16? Yeah. He been saying the same line since then. Like, at this point now, if you put any game startup and pick like Stone Cold versus The Rock in any one of the games, it's the same exact words that he reads over and over. It doesn't change. He has no feelings in it. With King had feelings in it because, King was a wrestler. You look at anybody else that did, like I said, it's weird. It's like when you have UFC commentators are UFC fighters. They have more passion behind what they're saying. But if you was to get like a WWE commentary to go to UFC and they just watched it, but they never really was there, like anything, it would sound bland as hell. You wouldn't want to hear them talk. That's why I kind of mute them in the game when I played them. I didn't want to hear Michael Cole talk ever again.
You just mentioned Jerry the King Lawler. His most recent run with WWE, I didn't like it. It was like Jerry Lawler pretending to be Jerry Lawler from 15 years ago.
Well, Jerry Lawler, at the age now, they don't want him to beat old Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler keywords was puppies, TNA, and Braun Panty Match. Yeah, that was his 3 favorite words. For you not to have that era around him no more, it just make King sound bland as hell.
Speaking of King, quick transition. Our 2 world title matches, Bobby Lashley and Goldberg. I'm totally cool with the way the match went. Goldberg got some offense. Bobby said, you know what? Fuck you. I'm just going to beat the shit out of you. But the finish. Are you serious?
Fuck them kids.
No, even before the fuck them kids. You just stopped the match due to an injury? Really?
Yeah, Goldberg over. You got something due to an injury.
I would have preferred Bobby Lashley just took the chair and got DQ'd and went that way. I would have took the DQ finish over the stupid just referee stoppage. I think referee stoppage is the worst thing you can do in wrestling. If it's not legitimate, you don't do a worked referee stoppage. But yeah, fuck them kids. Because
right. First of all, as soon as his son jumped in the ring, I was like, oh, and it's about to say fuck them kids. And Bobby put his ass in a hurt lock and picked his ass up and dangled the shit out of him. I said, I feel now one piece of bag should stage your ass across that barricade, bro.
Yep. And it immediately made me think of when Dominic first started doing stuff with Ray, and he got F5'd by Brock, and then suplexed into the barricade. But he was legal at the time. He was 19.
How old is Goldberg's son again?
15, 16, something like that.
Well, we know what's going to happen now. As soon as he becomes legal and he's been trained from 15 and now, he's going to go to the main roster.
And then we have to have him versus Dominic.
Yes, please, yes. I will be okay with that.
And meanwhile, over on the other channel, fucking Tony Schiavone's kid, 35-year-old kid, is having a fucking match out of nowhere.
Hey man, he wanted to be a wrestler. You know, AEW going to give him a shot.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this main event.
The main event, yes.
With the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and the balding in the back, John Cena.
Yep. That was a beautiful sports entertainment match. It wasn't a wrestling match. It was a sports entertainment match. But they did it right. It was fucking awesome.
They did. But the finish.
Oh, man. What are they calling it on the internet? The fucking Viking Brock?
Mm-hmm.
We got fucking Viking Brock. And
it's weird because if you look at Paul Heyman looked more terrified than Roman did.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, are we finally going to get a Paul Heyman on a pole match now?
No, because basically Paul Heyman got caught cheating. That's basically what it was like. I leave, and you come, you turn to the person I tried to put away years ago. I ran him out. Made him go away during COVID. You joined with this guy? You're cheating on me with this guy?
There's a meme online of a guy coming home, and he walks in his bedroom, and the dude in the bed with his wife, and it was like, if you didn't see SummerSlam, this is basically what happened. They put Brock's face as the dude coming home, and Roman and Paul in the bed, and Paul got that scared face. Uh-huh. And I said, Lily, if you never watched it, you will understand what this means off the grip.
Yep.
But let's talk about this. Let's talk about when the show went off the air. Brock stayed.
Oh yeah.
And gave John Cena 2 German suplexes and an F5, and the crowd still cheered.
Because that was like the 6-year anniversary to Suplex City?
Mm-hmm. And now, Brock will be going forward as a face that he hasn't been since 2000.
Yep. I had a feeling we're getting babyface Brock. I had a feeling. Now, it's just a matter of, what do we do with Heyman? Does Heyman turn on Roman and then it's a double turn for Brock and Roman? Or do we just stay straight and we go forward with heel Roman and babyface Brock?
Somebody online said, why can't we go the same route we did when Paul was friends with CM Punk and Brock showed up, and they basically was damn near working almost on the same terms?
Yeah, that works too.
But you know Brock ain't champion and don't need to be a part of the group.
Mm-hmm. Valor said Lashley ragdolled the Goldberg's son had him dying.
Again, fuck them kids.
Yes, fuck them kids. And on Sunday night, again, I don't know why the shows were backwards. I'm guessing because of travel schedule, because there was a house show on Sunday. If you didn't know, there was a house show Sunday. TakeOver 36. Now, I forgot to mention this on the show, but I was talking with my homie at work. I nailed the lineup of this pay-per-view. Nailed it. I was like, obviously, Eli Drake, fuck LA Knight. Eli Drake and Cameron Grimes are going on first. Then you put the women's match on. Then Walter, Ilya. Then you've got to put the two out of three falls in the middle. That way you don't go title matches back to back. And then Joe and Cross are last. I nailed the lineup to this pay-per-view.
Let me tell you, before we get into that, one more thing about SummerSlam. The one highest thing that I liked the most about SummerSlam was Edge coming out to the Brood.
Oh yes, I didn't catch it at first because I again, retrospect for me with wrestling. I didn't catch the music at first, but yeah, the Brood music.
Came out to the Brood music, the old school shave, and on his jacket in the front, it says "Drink from the goblet of the Brood." I said, God damn, Ed, why'd you have to go back that old school? But to hit Seth Rollins with the Gland Slam.
Yeah.
I said, that man paid homage to his wife. He didn't give a fuck.
Did you? But there was freaking Gangrel came out on Twitter. He was like, now I can't use it because WWE took the copyrights to all the Brood stuff again.
Damn, that's right. Shit.
Because Edge even said, even though like he could like send an apology on Twitter, he's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take your thunder.
Yeah, that is true. Oh well.
And the franchise on the boards, Mr. J. Kidd.
Over here, not surviving the Survivor Series. I didn't survive any of those matches. I just were dead, man.
Now that we talked about Backlash 2021, let's go and talk about AEW.
All right.
Word.
AEW Dynamite. First of all, I believe Raw has started with a promo every week for the last 10 years now, since they stopped wrestling in the opening segment. So CM Punk and MJF proceeded to have a 21-minute promo.
And I was here for all of it.
Absolutely. All of it.
Me too.
Every single word that they said.
It was godlike.
Let me tell you something. They was hitting so many quotes that I was like, damn it, I should write these down. These shits are never going to get this good again. Jesus, Lord.
MJF is a less famous Miz.
That one got me. I was like, oh, shit.
We might as well.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Before you go further, when he said that he was a lesser version of Miz, you see MJF go, fuck you. You see him go, you a bitch. And I go, oh my God, I'm so here for this shit, son.
MJF then said, we should call you PG Punk. And you might as well start preaching hustle, loyalty, and respect.
Oh, MJF also said, I'm going to end this faster than your UFC career. And then CM Punk came back with the line of all lines. You will never be number one. You had to be here long enough that Tony Khan had a daughter. And I was like, oh my God.
That was a
Oh.
That was a shot at Triple H.
At this point right now, we got the real hand. We got to really fight. Because I feel like that wasn't part of the script. You said on your own. And now we got to fight. Like, CM Punk is not a guy you want to talk shit to on TV. I feel like CM Punk had a lot of this shit built up inside him for years. And he could finally get away with saying this shit. I don't think he cares. I would never want to talk to CM Punk like that because then we got to fight. We just got to fight at this point.
Man, they were dropping so many bars just like URL.
Word. And I thought this was Freestyle Fridays on fucking 106 Park.
Yo, word. It's like Blind Fury against Jin.
That reminds me, I see Blind Fury down here a couple of times. I actually hung with him.
Oh man, I forgot about Blind Fury.
Blind Fury's
he's still making music though. He's down here still making mixtapes and shit. He's still a legend in Charlotte.
Yeah, man.
Because I remember Jin signed with Rough Riders and then you never saw him again.
Never, ever.
First of all them niggas signed with somebody and all them niggas never got singing again.
That's true. Another bar.
But yeah, Blind Fury was dope though. I'll
Blind
give
Fury
you
was dope.
He was dope.
I loved his fucking lyrics, man. What he spit every night. Every Freestyle Fridays was dope.
AEW Dynamite was actually a lit show that's starting to get weird and good at the same time because I suspect for them to be good for a couple of weeks and then go bad for a couple of weeks. But as soon as I think, this episode's gonna be trash, they always do something to make me end up want to watch them more. And I'm like, yo, at this point now, I really don't care for WWE because AEW is like, hey, you want to go out there and say something about WWE? Say it. You want to talk shit about somebody in another place? Say it.
Oh,
you want to go out there and start a fight with somebody? Say it.
They
don't care.
Like last week when Daniel Bryan brought up, I won the world title at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Word. What? And he said, I fought the next night after that. And I was like, yo, he had a point. He did, though.
Tony Khan probably went to them guys and was like, yo, get your traumatic experience in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Traumatic experience from WWE in the ring.
Can you imagine if Brodie was still alive and Brodie was able to get on the mic and actually say what he really wanted to say without doing them damn Vince vignettes? I feel like Brodie would have been the top star just off the shit that he would have said.
Mm-hmm.
Brodie would have been amazing, bro, on the mic and on the.
To be honest, at this point, almost everybody who used to work for WWE has gotten on the mic and said some shit about WWE, and I'm like, I just want to watch AEW more now because they can voice what they want to voice. They know they're not never going to back WWE no time soon, so they don't care.
By the way, did you hear that? You guys heard it. Another bar was dropped from CM Punk. He was like, yo, your time slot is mostly taken over by DMD.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Oh, because they was talking about the 4 pillars, and he said, you're so something, and then you don't even realize you've been replaced by Britt Baker.
Boy, CM Punk dropping these fire, bro. Like, I don't know, man. I know why Fox mad why Vince didn't do that deal.
Word. Now, Cody, what do you feel about Cody? He's actually hinting at turning heel after he said he's not going to turn heel.
I think Cody realized that him being a face was cool when the company started, but now they have a substantial amount of wrestlers that all are somewhat good on the mic or good as hell on the mic or just good in the ring that he don't have to be on the show every day. So now I guess he's like, fuck it, I could be a heel and just show up when I need to show up, not have to be here really every damn day to do this shit. And I'm here for it.
Because on Dynamite, you know how he takes off his belt and he throws it in the crowd, like doing like a heat spot. So this week they threw the belt back at him.
I saw, and I was like, they about to do a CM. They also said they about to do a ECW invasion where he throws it in every corner and everybody throws it back. And I'd have been like, you throw it at me, I'm keeping it. I'm not throwing that shit back.
I mean, the John Cena thing where he throws the shirt to the crowd and they throw it right back.
Boy, they threw that bitch back like 3 times, and I was like, just stop, just stop, Cena. Like you're throwing to Hope, and Hope is throwing it back. They don't want you.
Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming. Yes, winter is coming. The not quite the main event, but the main attraction. The world title match between Hangman Page and Daniel Bryanson ended in a 60-minute time limit draw. And the internet went nuts because they said it was shit. And I don't get why.
It was a good match. It was
an amazing match.
Phenomenal match. People were mad because we got the same thing from Daniel Bryan on
Kenny Omega.
From the same title match, pretty much, against a different opponent, and got the same result. It's 2 tides.
Now,
on a world championship match, I'm telling you, that's why they're getting mad.
Now speaking to the couple people that on Instagram that we're cool with, like the Double Turn podcast, the Dirty Heelz, just talking to a couple people, I was like, my only argument is, would you prefer the WWE versions of a no finish, where it's just the referee just calls the match for no reason? Or just have a double DQ? Would you prefer that?
I think that would
What's the best way to protect both people? Even though losing doesn't hurt Daniel Bryan, but I feel that there's something bigger that's going to happen down the line where they don't want him to have a loss yet.
I think I don't know if Hangman would do the disqualification route. Maybe unintentional disqualification would protect both.
I could be wrong, but I believe on TV, AEW has done 1 DQ finish.
And everything has been
clean. In 2.5 years, they've done 1 DQ finish. WWE does like 3 a night.
Yeah, they do. Everything is DQ in the WWE route.
Yeah.
Like, all the heels have to do something. Like, oh, you got to hit him with a belt. You got to hit him with a ring.
Or just walk out.
Just walk out. Yeah, like, but I think in this situation, I think this would have worked for the DQ route.
Okay.
Honestly. Like, but it has to be like an unintentional DQ. Just keep the storyline build. Like, maybe Hangman Adam Page got angry.
Okay.
Because, you know, he still can't go down. Like Daniel Bryan, what I'm saying. But
right.
He can't go down. But Hangman Adam Page is trying to use a chair or something. And he just got super angry. And then, like, people are booing and cheering, but this is going to protect both of them. Because Daniel Bryan is a heel. And he still got undefeated streak due to a DQ. I think that would have been a good route. But just to do it like as what they did last time with Kenny Omega and Daniel Bryan, I mean, you're just going to drain it out, and that's just making people upset. The match was great; it was phenomenal.
Yes,
I love it, but I didn't like how it ended because it's literally the same thing as what I saw few months ago.
Yeah, that's the one thing I will agree with people. Yeah, they just did it with Omega in September. Like, okay, I'll give you that. But other thing that I was, talking to people about, a time limit draw is such a classic thing in wrestling because I think everybody's so used to the fact because WWE's been the dominant promotion for the last 30 plus years, and they don't use time limits at all, except in Iron Man matches and the Royal Rumble. That's the only time. Oh, and Elimination Chamber. That's the only time they use a clock.
Yeah, true.
So TNA never mentions time limits. Ring of Honor in the Pure Rules division, they mention time limits, but in their standard matches, they don't mention the time. New Japan does time limits, but I've come across most people will just watch the Japanese audio because the English one doesn't come out right away. So they'll just watch the matches in Japanese. So most people don't even realize what's being said. Although if you look at the graphic, there's they usually have the time on the screen.
They do.
But I think American wrestling just aren't conditioned to time limits. Yeah. And it's such a classic thing in wrestling, though, going, I believe, back to the beginnings in the 30s and the 40s.
They just hate to see the match end in a draw. That's the thing.
Ric Flair tweeted, "I've done so many hour-long draws. Some great, some average. Tonight, you gentlemen set a new bar. The wrestling world can learn from Adam Page and Daniel Bryan. Congratulations." Ric Flair co-signed the draw.
He also said that Bryan Danielson was okay wrestler.
Yeah, he also said that.
That's coming from the same man who said that Bryan Danielson said
he did say that. I forgot about that. He did say that.
Okay wrestler.
I think he said that on Tuesday. I think before the match.
If I was Bryan Danielson, I would be offended. I would be like, damn, the greatest wrestler in the world just called me okay. Like, what? I would be offended. Be so offended. But he should work that though. He should work that in AEW. Just be like, Ric Flair just told me I was an okay wrestler. Professional wrestling, I was okay. Like something like that. And I see Bryan Danielson doing that.
Listening to New Date podcast.
Oh yeah.
Xavier Woods once told a story of when he was in developmental when it was still FCW.
Yeah.
I believe Tom Pritchard was his trainer at the time, and they walk in one day to training class, and Tom Pritchard says, "Who thinks they can wrestle for an hour?" So Xavier Woods raised his hand, and Connor from Ascension, both of them raised their hands. So Tom Pritchard said, "Okay, hour Broadway right now." An hour Broadway means 60-minute time limit draw. Exactly. So they're just going to fight for an hour in front of the whole class with no finish. And he was like, "I did it."
Yeah, I know Woods would. I know Woods would, man. He's very durable. He's very durable during a match.
So, hey, they were using that as a training tool in 2008, a time limit draw.
Who can last 30 minutes now? Like, who can last a half hour?
Yeah. That's why in my fantasy booking, I use a 90-minute Iron Man match.
Yes, you do. And
who's going to wrestle for an hour and a half?
So that's what they should do, too, for the next angle. Like, for the next Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, I'm so used to calling him Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, same shit.
Yeah, Bryan Danielson match. They should just do a 90-minute Iron Man match.
If you're listening to this, download the Stereo app. Me and Alex will be doing something sometime over the break while we're off. So follow us on Instagram, follow us on Stereo. Well, just go to Instagram, find our link tree. All the links for anything that we do are there. You can contact Bravery Studios there.
Yeah.
Go on the website, see the nice amenities here at Bravery Studios. Respect the Gnarly Marv. Thank you, J Kid. Alex the Heel says, I'm sorry, my phone fucked up. I'll see everybody next year. Salute to him.
Salute to him.
All our guests this year, my homie from work, homie from the Couch Podcast.
Word.
All that. Great 2021. We'll be back next year, 2022. Good night, sir.
Good night, all. And to all, good night. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day.
Merry Pule.
And have a happy new year.
Ultra Heelz out.